On Sex Positive Me, we explore all aspects of sex and relationships, ranging from fetishes and BDSM to ethical non-monogamy and LGBTQ issues. Sex Positive Me destigmatizes sexual practices and relationships while reconciling reality with myth and misconceptions. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and be advocates of sexual freedom. And now here's your hosts, Angelique and John Luna.
Hey everyone, it's Angelique Luna here with my co-host, partner in crime, audio tech person, trying to save me from falling from the sex swing, Jancy Luna.
Hello. I've been doing my duty. You have not fallen when I'm present.
Yeah, when you're present.
Well,
there.
don't climb in the swing until I'm present. That's your own fault.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Do I have to put a baby gate around the sex swing to say, don't? It's not meant for one person. It, must have adult supervision. Ooh, that's what we need.
You came up with a new sign.
No, I knew new product.
New products.
Well, you can easily buy the police tape, the yellow stuff. We can go ahead and make something like that and saying adult products inside require the presence of an adult. Maybe.
Adult supervision.
Yes, and I'll wrap you in it. I'll wrap you with it and take pictures.
Fine.
The look she's giving me is of death.
Yes, we're no longer going to be filming the podcast interviews at this moment because we're having more fun doing separate split podcast interviews. Because now, for the second week in a row, we have guests in the studios.
We do.
Yes.
We have the lovely and long-term friend of ours here who, I love her creativity. I love her entrepreneurship. She's got this cute little smile. Although not little. I use little for a lot.
I'm little compared to her. Anytime I stand next to her, I feel like this tiny little gnome, like so tiny. Because how big are you, young lady?
I am 5'11.5". It sounds like I'm hiding that I'm 6 feet tall, but I say I'm 6 feet tall. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Well,
because
you are.
There's times I have to look up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tiny.
But then I've seen you in heels.
Yeah, I don't shy away from heels. Absolutely not.
No. And that makes me even feel much smaller then.
Well, you're both very beautiful, and I'm happy to have you here. I'm introducing now Meg.
Hey, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So tell our audience all about you.
Okay, so my name is Meg. I have been doing stuff in the adulty industry for about 7-8 years now. So I've done everything from adult store management to selling products to making my own products to making porn. I like to say I'm a Jill of all trades in this adult industry. So it's I've gone through a bunch of different certifications. I'm a certified sexual health resource, and I just describe myself pretty much as like a kinky mofo. Like, that's just the easiest way to describe me.
A sexual entrepreneur.
There we go.
I think that's the name of the episode now. Sexual entrepreneur.
I like it.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, because you've gone through spectrums of various different lines of work.
Oh yeah. I think my origin story for adult work is probably the most interesting.
Do tell.
Story time.
So, for the sake of things, I won't give any business names. But I came out here, and here being Florida, I first moved out here to do an internship with a company that rhymes with Schmizni. And
Yeen said.
Yeah. So I came out here to do an internship with them, moved into the housing. I was living in Disney housing, and I was living in some housing that was known for being more of like the party house and everything.
That's okay. Vista Way was known to, one of the top 10 places in Playboy magazine to get laid. Guaranteed.
Okay, then I'll say it. Yeah, Vista Way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you on the American side or the international side?
I was on the American side. Yeah.
So how was that? Because when I did that program back in '94, American side was a lot more tamer than the international side.
Well, they actually, okay. I would say both were pretty wild.
Okay.
I would say your proximity to the hot tub determined how crazy things were.
Okay, that has changed a lot since '94 then.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting time living there. I was in a house that didn't allow drinking or anything like that. But there was one girl who was in my building who let me rewind a little bit here. When we first moved into the housing, the second day that you're there, you have to go to a meeting with these basically representatives for the housing from Disney. They put a bunch of people in a big room. They're giving you a whole PowerPoint, what's allowed, what's not allowed. You're living here, so you got to live by our rules type thing. And one of the things they said, they just really quickly went over it. They were like, no sex toys or dildos. And someone, like, obviously it's a group of like kids who are away from home the first time. They're all cackling and they're like, what are you talking about? What's going on?
I want to know too, because I never got that speech in '94.
Yeah, it was because someone brought a just a larger toy into the house, their apartment rather. And when they had brought that in, they were threatening one of their roommates with it, just as like a joking, like, ooh, I'm gonna like. Basically, someone was laying there. They woke up. Giant dildo was in their face. That's what it was. It was just someone playing a prank, but it was a traumatizing experience for them. So Disney's like, we just have a hard rule about this. And there was a girl who was in the building that I was in during my college program, and Disney had found a sex toy in her bedroom. It was like put away in her drawers, but Disney goes through and they check the apartments, make sure, you don't have drugs or whatever in there.
Oh wow, that's
that's
completely different than me in '94.
Yeah, they
honestly.
have something called like the white glove, like it's like white glove test or something like that. They're going through making sure you don't have lots of dirty dishes, you don't have drugs in the house, you don't just have like big piles of things sitting everywhere. They go through and they do that.
Oh wow, that's
yeah.
completely different, because we even had, so like I said, mine was in '94. We even had an illegal roommate in our apartment, in our apartment there, because her college program ended and she was supposed to go back to Italy, but she didn't go back, so she still hanged around with us.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, holy cow.
Party. Yeah.
I am so grateful that I did mine in '94, because I'm like hearing this, I'm like, no, I mean, we didn't have cable, we didn't have internet. Okay, so this was like pre-internet '94, so, not everyone could had it, but
we had the best thing though.
What?
No pictures and evidence of what we did.
My roommate, she was, friggin' nostalgic. She kept photos, and you saw them, and I was like, damn it.
That's why I'm collecting them.
No, I made sure. It's like, but yeah, we were just, this is surprising
Sounds like it was
to
a
hear.
different experience then, yeah.
Yeah, totally, because they never like came around and checked, and we were notorious. I mean, the boys upstairs, they had recreational stuff too. It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, people still did stuff, but they would just hide it when the mouse would come looking. But yeah, so Disney employees, or basically the housing staff, found that she had a sex toy in her room. They pulled her, like, they basically told her, like, you can't have this in here and you need to throw it away. They're like, we're going to be back in a week to check, make sure everything's gone. Or like, it's just the housing rules. And I remember her telling me about this, and I was like, that is fucking bananas. I wasn't even into like sex toy stuff at that time. I was like, that is crazy. They don't have a right to like tell you what you can or can't. It's your first time away from home. Wouldn't they rather you're doing this than getting pregnant? I was like going off. I was like, this is ridiculous. Disney comes back a week later. It was out of her house, but it was in the trunk of her car. Disney went out to the trunk of her car.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. And she got like in a lot of trouble for still having it. And I'm like, it's in her car.
This is insane puritanical bullshit.
See, at that point, I would have made sure it was in the tire jack.
Yeah.
That's where I would have put it. But that's just me, because I'm notorious for hiding crazy shit there. Because
you hide stuff? No.
And at this point, this poor girl, like everybody in the building was talking about it, because if someone didn't pass white glove, like word spread fast. And they were like, oh God, this like happened to this person. Like, oh my God. And so this poor girl, she was all like embarrassed and everything, and had to go through like the trauma of having like everybody know that she had a sex toy. When it's her first time away from home, like there's no shame in having sex toys, but like she wasn't raised in an environment where having sex toys was okay. So it was rough for her, but I promise I'm getting to this. There's a reason I mentioned all of this. I was so upset that happened to her. that I started an underground like Disney dildo sex toy ring
Club.
Yeah. So I would go to local adult stores. I would pick up stuff, like go through, buy a bunch of stuff for everybody, bring it back, be passing it out, do that whole thing. So
You
yeah.
rebel.
Yeah. Rebel without a cause. I was the rebel spy.
There you go.
That's full circle. Yeah.
So circle there. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I am just mortified and shocked on that, you know, in regards to how much they've changed. I mean, our biggest thing back in 94 was noise that, you know, the party had to end like around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. We got a kind of a warning, but some of us became really good friends with the security. You know, we gave them snacks and treats or whatever and respected them. They let us go until 2, 3 in the morning. I mean, it was just like, you know, the international side, we were just partying left and right, like no tomorrow, celebrating everything. Alcohol everywhere. I mean, it was...
I remember there was a party bus and that would come get people, and that was like...
Yeah, the party bus came way after, I think like 99, 2000. That's when the party bus, because I don't remember having a party bus, because when I did college program, even our bus system was still Disney at that time. It wasn't third party.
Oh, yeah.
So we, you know, so it was just strictly, you know, Disney buses in and out. So you would take the shuttle to like the Gooding Shopping Center and then cross over and go to Johnny's, which is now, I guess, Player One bar in that area. So that's what we would done, going back and forth, or just carpool with people and be, you know, good friends with people who had cars.
But what you're saying is the mouse gave you your start and love of dildos and sex toys.
Exactly. I went Disney to dildos. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that kind of pushed me in that direction. And I mean, also when I was on my college program, I ended up getting like a knee injury, and I was like, you know, this is stuff that I'm interested in. I tried doing more theme park stuff for a little bit, which taught me a lot about like the psychology of people and how their brains work. Nothing quite like working hospitality will do that.
Oh, yeah.
I know you know that one,
Angelique.
Oh, yeah,
25 years of hospitality here in Orlando, so in 15 years with the mouse.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I know the whole psychology, from event planning to groups to meeting planners to individuals, weddings. Weddings are horrible, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. The psychology of wedding at Disney's are far worse than just weddings itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, after I did all of that, and I was like, you know, I really want to get back to this. I went over to a local store and was like, I'd love to work with y'all. I think that, you know, I'm pretty familiar with your stores at this point, and I would love to go forward with this. And they hired me on, and I worked with that company for a good 6 years. And I went from just like a part-time cashier all the way up to managing the store. And I realized that I'm hugely a nerd for sex toys, and it's just something that I'm super passionate about. Like, I get like really nerdy about like ripping toys apart and seeing how their motors look, and knowing like weird factoids, like the magic wand, like the difference between like the original and the rechargeable is about 1600 RPMs. Like I hold on to these weird little facts and I can't let go of them. But yeah, through my time in the store, I realized that the number one issue I was really seeing with people, like when they're trying to like explore new things, is just a fear of not having limits respected, or just a fear of like what's going to happen. What does this mean? And that was just something that I saw like through all just everything overarching in the adult store that I was working at. It's just, there was so much fear from the people who were coming in, and I saw that, you know, what that girl went through at Disney, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. So once COVID hit and everything, I was having some family members who were dealing with some health issues, and I was also knowing that I was gonna, you know, it was just getting too expensive to live downtown, and I was scared living downtown, and being in a store was freaking me out. So I had like dabbled in sexy work I don't need to say sexy work. I'm so used to like censoring myself for the internet now. But
it sounds so pretty. I did sexy work.
I did sexy work. Yeah. But I had done sex work stuff online before, and I was like, I'm just going to go back to this. And OnlyFans was really starting to like bump up. So I was like, let me do this. So I was doing OnlyFans for a while, and I was doing pretty good for myself, enough that I was able to start my own paddle company. That's how Queen of Hurts came to be. Prior to that, I was just doing like education-y stuff online here or there under the name Dildo Queen. But so yeah, went to Queen of Hurts, started doing all of that, and it's been like a really cool journey. But with every design that I do, I try and make sure that they're just fun pieces. My ultimate goal was that I wanted people to see pieces and be like, this is cool, I'm going to pick it up and look at it. And I felt that when you remove like the shame and the fire and brimstone, which fire and brimstone is friggin' great. I'm a big fan of fire and brimstone myself. But
in a different context.
Exactly, yeah. Like my thing is just that when you kind of remove that like that taboo, the fear of it, what's going to happen to me, when you remove that from the scenario and you're like, oh, here's a glow in the dark paddle, like that's kind of fun and silly. That opens up more conversations of like, well, maybe we could try this, maybe we could explore with this, or so that's kind of been my journey the last 8 years. No.
Well, it's interesting. So you brought us some of the paddles.
Yes, I did.
And you invented something else, which we'll get to in a moment. But the paddles are acrylic.
Well, yeah, resin.
Resin.
Yeah. Resin. And the one you gave me has Space Cadet in it. I'm debating on how to take that one, but you love me. So it's heavy. I mean, honestly, the paddle weighs about a pound or two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are... It depends on exactly which paddle and what kind of like reinforcements I put inside them, but generally they're about 2 pounds.
2 pounds, wow.
And it's only about a foot long, and this one's shaped like a heart. Mm-hmm. As I'm sitting here and hearing what you're saying, I'm like, is there any way I could like make one that has Tootsie Rolls sitting in it? There's something about Tootsieing someone's ass that I find very appeasing with this.
Where the hell did you even hear a phrase like that?
I don't know, Tootsie, ass, they kind of go together, no?
Let me see your Tootsie Roll. Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm like.
But
you and your Tootsie Roll there.
I never said I don't go off on tangents. I'm married to you. Of course I do. But what I do want to talk about is you invented something.
I did.
You did. You wanted to cause people pain, or yourself pain, because I know you're a sadomasochist, right?
Yes. I go both ways.
Yes.
And the problem was that you wanted to either cellophane, you were saying, or wrap people up and still cause them pain. You were trying, what, bottle caps?
I've tried bottle caps. I've tried Legos. I've tried like just little metal jacks. And the problems I was running into is that things would slip around when you put them underneath like silkier ropes or nylons. I was running into problems where it would sit somewhere for a second, but it's like if the person who's tied up, if they were to like bend their leg or bend their arm or move around, as someone in rope generally does at some point or another, things would slip and then the little spiky bit would fall out, and it was just frustrating. So I came up with my Alpha Waffles. They're kind of like a waffle texture on one side and then little sensation spikes on the other. And I'm blown away with the ways that people have come up with to use these.
Well, I got one in my hand right now, and it is a waffle.
Yeah.
It does look nice and waffle, and it's sparkly. But man, these are sharp. I mean, they're not like, they're going to hurt, but they're not going to pierce any skin.
What is it? PVC or plastic?
So it's an ABS plastic.
Okay.
And all of my resins I use are 2-part epoxy resins. So it's not like one of those ones that you just put under a UV lamp for 20 minutes and it's really brittle. This is one that it's got to set for some time. Yeah.
Right. And what's the average time for it to be set? Like just with the waffle ones?
With the waffle ones, I normally let them set for 24 hours.
Okay.
Nice.
And then the paddles are what?
The paddles, I normally give those, once again, about 24 hours. It depends on the paddle. The smaller size paddles that I do, those ones I can usually get away with more of like a 18-hour, but I really like making sure everything's like completely set before I take it out of the mold. I don't want someone to get a paddle home and have like a bend in the middle or some kind of warping.
Well, I love it. been attacked already. Hey,
No, I was
remember,
just
I'm the dom. There, go.
Yeah, I was
go.
just trying to see how it feels if I scratch you with it.
Yeah,
That doesn't work. That's not too bad. You see,
That's not.
Exactly, and that was also another thought with these. It goes back to that idea of I want things that people want to pick up and grab and touch and be like, well, maybe this isn't so scary. I can do it as a sensation that's like really like, holy fuck, ouch. Or I can do it as something that it's like, oh, well, this is like light and tickly and kind of sensual in a way, you know?
Yeah, it kind of feels like your Wartenberg wheel to a certain extent.
a little. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
quite.
and it's not as quite as sharp, but it still gives you that prickly feeling.
What I like is the moment you took it out, I wanted to grab it and go, what is this? Because obviously you can only make so many variants on a dildo. I mean, they do have many different ones, but eventually we've seen them all. And paddles, yes, we can vary them, and they do pretty, and there are some I want more over others. But when you see something that is completely outside of a norm, sitting like on a shelf in a sex top, you're like, I need to figure out what this does. And I could see people doing some very interesting stuff in this. I could see just putting this in someone's underwear, like right on the butt, and just have them sit down as a
I've had someone
punishment.
do that. It's funny watching people squirm. Yeah. But a common use that I've seen people do, and people send me photos all the time, which, you know, check in with me, get consent. But people will send photos after they like put it in their shirt, and they'll put it on their nipples, like inside their bra. And so these are the kind of spikes that like when you feel them against your skin, you're just like, okay, well, I feel that there.
Right.
But once you start walking around, you feel the pressure of things moving, like you move side to side, you'll feel your bra shift. You'll definitely feel that. And if someone has nipple piercings, it gets especially mean. Yeah.
Ooh, now I'm intrigued.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
As she looks at my shirt, at my nipple piercings.
Exactly. That's what I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, just put them down, put some saran wrap, and be like, go walk around. Go walk around the block. Yeah.
See, my immediate thought with this is there's plenty of vibrators you can wear out and have remote controls.
Oh, yeah.
And if this was molded just right so it kind of fit and held it in place, man, that could really.
I'm working on something like that, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that way you get that little bit of extra vibration in with the pain.
Oh, that's very true. Especially like most girl panties have that little pocket right in the vagina. So.
Yeah.
Right over the clit.
Yep.
A little salty with your sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
But no, what I also like about it is if you, regardless of how hard you push, they're not deep enough to really break the skin.
No.
I mean, you could slide them, I guess, if you really put a lot of pressure on them. So it's pain without injury. Too much injury, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
I
can
haven't
also
heard
use
of
a
anyone
scratchy.
like breaking skin yet, but the only time I did notice anything is I've been playing around with putting waffles on the back of paddles, and that is something that'll get you good. That'll get you good. Yeah.
Well, I really would never want to have like a bowl full of these and then drop them on the floor, because that would be worse than Legos.
Oh yeah.
You know, walking around and ended up stepping on something like this. Because the one thing as a dom we don't like is when the toy turns around and hurts us, especially when we're trying to do it to someone else. And
course.
dropping stuff on the floor, like when you're on working with a massage table, and then stepping on it and having to do that. I'm not going to show this pain.
Yeah.
Sucks.
You have to show that pain.
Well, it's also part of the reason I did the waffle texture on the back of these is to add a little bit more grip to it, because that was one thing I was noticing in the earlier versions I did of it when I didn't have a waffle texture, is that things were slipping and sliding around. If you have lube on your hands, anything like that, you're just, there's nothing from stopping that from just shooting right out your fingers.
Exactly.
It becomes a game of bottle caps, and I wasn't looking to do that, so.
And you've done them in glow in the dark? Because I can see these in glow in the dark.
Yeah, with the waffles, I actually give people the option of doing custom colors, or I can just pick like 6 random colors and be like, hey, you know, have fun. But I have done glow in the dark stuff. I find that works better for smaller pieces like that. But I am looking at doing different sizes, different shapes, because I think that it could be fun if someone had like a palm-sized piece that they could just, you know, you can't see on the podcast, but I just like did a big giant petting motion with spread fingers.
Yeah, put it like that, you know, like what's that buzzard? The
in-hand buzzer.
The in-hand buzzard. You can't see it just with these. I think that would
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Very nice.
like those.
So you got inventive. You started making toys, inventive toys at that. But you also said you're doing online work as well.
Yeah. So I'm still doing the porn stuffs online. I mostly do solo content. Occasionally I'll have a strange, mysterious hand appear. But yeah, I know it's been a really interesting journey. Sex work kind of fell into my lap, as I was saying, when I like moved away from the store that I was at, and I was just like, I already have so many sex toys at home, and I was like, what if I started like doing reviews? But I was like, well, I'll do like more of a quote unquote vanilla review for like more of like Instagram type stuff, or Pornhub, and then I can put my more X-rated reviews, like here's my first experience using this product, and this is really my true experience with this. Just videos of that on my OnlyFans, and that got a really good response, which I wasn't prepared for. I didn't think people actually cared so much about, this is what my experience is using a toy the first time, this is what it feels like, this is where it's hitting on me.
Right, exactly.
But that's really what people care about at the end of the day. Like, and when people would come into the store I worked at and they'd ask those kind of questions, I was like, you're just being like pervy and trying to enjoy this conversation, but it can also be something that's very pervy and educational. So, yeah.
It is true, because there has been sex toy reviews since the dawn of blogging.
Yeah.
We're talking back in the early 90s, mid 90s there to today, but it's different reading about it than seeing the actual experience. So
Seeing the reaction.
Seeing where exactly are they putting, because I know there's been times I'm like, okay, where exactly is the spot that I need to use on this particular toy, because each toy has different ways of hitting,
Exactly.
body parts, and especially it's even size wise, because I could even bet there's probably a toy out there that will hit me completely different and hit you completely different, and it's the same exact toy.
Exactly. I think the one that like really, or the review that I did that really made me realize like, oh wow, there's like a need for this, is I was reviewing this pussy pump, and I had never used a pussy pump before. I can educate people up, down, left, and right about them. I know all the different specs, all the different things, except for when it came to actually use it, I was like, this is a different kind of experience than I thought, you know? So I was using it, and I realized I had to line it in the right direction.
Right.
And someone commented and was like, I've had this toy for like probably 2 years now, and it's been sitting in our drawer because we couldn't figure out how to use it, but your review taught me how to use it, so thank you. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is kind of a thing. It isn't just me like touch my pussy on the internet,
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
but you are helping people, which is a great thing.
Right, and that is a different niche, because there are so many sex toy reviewers out there, bloggers and vloggers, but it's very vanilla, not expose as you were doing it on OnlyFans.
Yeah, and I don't want to be like I'm a pioneer, but I really tried to make my focus doing more video type stuff, because I see that's what people connect to, and that's really where a lot of social media stuff is going towards. Like you'll hear it just okay, so for example, Clubhouse is a new one. Right. That one's just audio.
Right.
But TikTok is friggin' huge right now. YouTube has stayed on top of things because they're YouTube. It was the one place where people could watch videos for a while.
Right.
It's just even OnlyFans, like many of it's all these things. There's a huge focus towards just video. And I feel that people just connect with that a lot. Facebook Watch, that was the other one I was trying to think of. I mean, I probably wouldn't post my, diddly bits on there, but
Yeah,
They tend to be a little conservative.
Oh, they all are.
It's
It's like, please, let's not get into the politics of it, because especially with the terms of service being changed, I know we had to change our Instagram handle there to SPM the Lunas before anything else, and then I think we've only had one item taken down since the new term of service, and I couldn't even see what it was from 2017.
Yeah, it's a mess going on with that.
And so how are the challenges with the new terms of service affecting you business-wise?
It's kind of made me afraid to post. Honestly, it's made me really afraid to use certain hashtags, which I feel like hashtags exist to not only be like a search engine among social media sites, but it also helps build a sense of community. You can kind of filter and be like, I want to reach people who are in the DDLG community, daddy dumb little girl stuff, or I want to reach people who are posting on Kink Talk, but more of those terms are getting filtered out, and it's been scary trying to post and get posts going to the people who I want them to, because when you aren't able to filter it like that, there's more of a fear that this is going to get reported.
Right.
I can't hashtag toy reviewer because there's so many people who review kids' toys.
True.
So there's a lot of stuff like that. I don't want someone looking for like one kind of Woody and getting the other, like
It's hard to advertise
references.
in your niche, and social media is not in any way helping with us. Obviously, in the sites like the Pornhub, the fans and stuff, they work with it, but it's still difficult because now they want much more of a cut, and they're not really being fair to the people providing the content anymore.
Exactly. Oh, OnlyFans is, I'll just say it, like, even though I rely on them for income, they're a pain in the ass. They're a real pain in the ass, and they don't look out for sex workers, in my opinion, from what I've seen on that site.
Well, they're ungrateful swines, honestly, because if it wasn't for sex workers, they would have not as launched as popular and mainstream as they are now.
They wouldn't have. They really wouldn't have. And I've had incidences where people subscribe and then they'll buy like a bunch of videos and a bunch of custom content, and they'll do all that and they'll pay for that. But then right after, they turn around to their bank account and they're like, oh, these are fraudulent charges. I didn't do this. And OnlyFans, they side with the people who are trying to get their money back. They do not side with the sex workers.
And the thing is, you really can only do that so much.
Yeah.
Like if in a month you have 3 refunds on the same,
Yeah.
they can't be doing it by accident.
Well, OnlyFans will track, what your chargeback rate is, and they'll give you like a percentage of what that is. So if a bunch of people are saying like, hey, this is fraudulent charges, then what happens is OnlyFans will actually delete your account if you get over like 1% or something like that.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
But there's no way to protect yourself as a worker on that. There's also a lot of terms you can't use. I can't say pegging, which is a big thing for me because like most of what I'm known for education-wise is pegging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to not be able to talk about that is huge. You can't say pee. So like if someone's into like piss play, you can't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk about blood. You can't say meet, like, oh, it's great to meet you, because they just flag it as, oh, you're trying to meet up with someone. Yeah, there's like all kinds of stuff like that.
They need to get a lot more specific on those terms because they do them so broadly. Like Instagram, we had to go ahead and change our name from Sex Positive Me to
SPM the Lunas.
I had to change from the Dildo Queen to the Dilly Queen.
I saw that,
Yeah.
and I had to look at it and go, okay, I know it's you, but what? Oh, the laws, yes.
Yep. Yeah. Shit sucks. Sorry to interrupt. Okay, go ahead.
No.
Get fired up. I'm like, fuck this shit.
No, this is the conversations that people need to understand and what's going on and how is it affecting. And, just because it's currently at the moment affecting sex educators, sex therapists, sex workers, anything in the sex education field, they're coming after you if you're mainstream influencers, if you're not paying attention to the laws. And I'm going to start getting on my soapbox and saying, definitely follow Sunny Megatron because she's been very vocal in explaining a lot of these laws.
She's a great resource for all that.
For all that. So it is not just us, because the way they phrase things and the way they present the bills in the Senate and Congress, it will affect all of us as social media influencers who do rely on the internet and these social media platforms for, income and revenue.
It's true. And it's so hard because it's like, on one hand, I see that it's like, yes, we are on these businesses' platforms and we agree to a terms of service by being on there. in that sense, it's not censorship. But on the flip side of it, it's like, where the fuck else are sex workers supposed to go? We're getting booted off the internet. It's not always safe to do this in person. And some of us don't have business models that are set up for in-person stuff. Like me, I'm not going to meet up with someone in person. No shame to people who actually do full service sex work, but that's just not what aligns right in my life right now, you know? So what do people do? And for these people who do like sex work in person, what are their options? Because they can't check through people online. They aren't able, there's no more Backpage.
Nope.
You don't have like all of these like reference sites that you used to. And these people are just out there and having to just be like, okay, well, hopefully today isn't a terrible day for me.
Right. You know, is today the day I'm going to die because this person I'm going to meet is unstable?
Well, even law enforcement agreed by taking down Backpage, violent sex crimes have gone up, not down.
Yeah.
Right.
So it has the opposite effect of, it sounds good if this happens, but what sounds good is not always what plays out.
Yeah.
Right. And then also the laws are so gray that you don't know how to interpret. So if you're a sex worker and you're doing consensual sex work, but then someone turns around and says, oh, they're being trafficked, so they go under sex trafficking laws, and then they feed them to sex trafficking resources, which sometimes cause more harm than good. Where are these resources going to? Who's getting help?
I guess one of the points is they're against us, against sex workers on a level that even when we try to behave and fit in the rules. Because, okay, prostitution, we know it all happens. It is illegal. However, camming is not. So we move to camming.
It's
now they come
prostitution, and so
they move
what
to
it is. Yeah.
Well, for prostitution, sex has to occur between you and the client. That's not happening. Porn is legal. Now, whether you're doing live porn, that's still technically legal. But then they go ahead and push it even further. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing till we're left with no choices.
Oh, come on. Don't you remember that case many years ago that our favorite Polk County sheriff did about the married couple, consensual adults doing camming, and they got arrested for prostitution?
Yeah, that's insane. And that guy should not be a sheriff. He should have nothing to do with the public.
But everyone loves him because he's great at doing that sex trafficking and rounding up people.
No. He's great at migrating people to another town. Because what happened is sorry, I get on my high horse about this dude.
Go right ahead. Go for it. Because every time
this is just turning into like a bitch session, and I'm like, yeah. My Aries rising is coming out. But what happened is he was like, yeah, Polk County is cracking down on all the pedophiles. And so what happened is people are like, oh, they're on the lookout for me here. So they went over to neighboring counties. Orange County's rates went through the freaking roof. Osceola's like child sex trafficking rates went through the roof. And the reason for that is because he just did so much fear mongering in Polk County. They left Polk County and he was like, yeah, we got them all out of Polk County. And it's like, you didn't solve the problem though.
Nope.
You may have gotten more of them to go into hiding or more of them to go to a sister city, but you did not solve the problem. You do not deserve praise. All you did was just like scoot it on someone else and be like, that's your problem now, boo-boo.
Yep.
I got feelings on him.
Oh, we all have feelings.
He's still on this, he is definitely a fire and brimstone in the bad way.
Yes.
Type person who thinks punishment fixes stuff, and it doesn't.
Nope, it doesn't.
What came out in the last couple months in all this again, you can't tell what's news anymore, but was they were using a program and what's that word where you see a type of person? Profiling.
Profiling, yeah.
Profiling people who may commit crimes and had people, cops stationed in front of their house and making inquiries on them. So what happened to there's guilty until proven innocent, which I guess that is, innocent until proven guilty unless you're in Polk County. But they're searching for the people before the crimes are committed. And that is some new age sci-fi futuristic bullshit that none of us need.
No, there was a television series on that. Oh, Person of Interest.
No. Person of Interest was they went on the ground. No, you're talking about Minority Report. Tom Cruise movie. They would predict murders.
Yes, okay, Minority
before they happened.
Yes, exactly.
And arrest people because before the murder happened, until the system got corrupt And people were saying, were manipulating it to arrest people they wanted arrested who were never going to commit a crime.
Right. Exactly. But also in Person of Interest, there was a couple episodes that happened at the other machine, not their machine. I forgot the
I don't know
that one. Yeah,
that was a big rabbit hole. Person of Interest to go down though.
Oh, exactly. But it was the same thing. They looked at people's personalities and characteristics and see what was going to happen. I mean, they didn't kill them.
Well, the thing is, in a sci-fi movie, it was accurate. In reality, it's not. They were just sitting on people's lawn. And the truth is, if a cop kept... I mean, I'm an upstanding citizen. I have a job. I have zero police record.
No.
If a cop kept sitting out in front of my house and every time I looked was staring at me, you're damn right I'm going to get hostile after a few weeks.
But at the same time, you're like, I got a Mexican wife. That's probably why.
Yeah, I would come in first and say, what'd you do? No, I'm just kidding.
We know it will
I
be
know.
me. Come on. It took you like forever to realize we were an interracial couple.
And that's how unracist I am, because I saw you as a beautiful woman and never saw you as some exotic Mexican or something like that. Race was never an issue for me.
Right, until you finally saw it with your own eyes, with the grass
Yes.
in the house.
Man, you're going on a tangent tonight. We're bringing this back to sex because there is something I wanted to bring up and give you kudos, or at least say you're brave to do. And that is when you were doing these reviews on these sex toys, and you are doing all of them. Yeah, every time I look at either the manufacturer's video or the box, every model in there is the 5'1", 90-pound, super skinny. And by the way, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
But they put these models up where a lot of women will look at it and get intimidated just by the packaging. It's sort of like, when I buy toys, and let's say I go out and buy a cock ring or an anal toy, and the guy's on the cover, because of course for a cock ring it's a guy.
Right, with the 8-pack. Not even the 6-packs, the 8-pack. There's like not even an ounce of fat on
Sometimes they'll actually be, there's some really bad Photoshop on those boxes, and sometimes they'll even have 12 packs.
Oh, Lord, I have to look for those. Yeah.
Who's David, the soccer player? David Beckham bodies.
David Beckham bodies.
Except, on the cover, their cock is twice the size of probably what any human's is. And it gets intimidating. And again, a little brave to go out and do this and show your body and show this. And you're getting such great responses on it. And it also shows that, porn doesn't have to be the perfect body.
Nope.
Exactly.
Everyone has a like. And that's what makes us human, and what makes it all great is we all get to like different things.
Exactly. That's actually been, I think, the biggest lesson that I've learned from doing porn is that there really is something for everybody. Like, you may think like, oh, my nose is kind of crooked, or like, I'm too tall, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too like bony here, my butt isn't round enough. Like, you can think all that, but there's someone who's going to think the sun shines out your asshole. Like, quite honestly, like they'll be like, you are amazing. You are, this, and you're someone's fantasy. Like, you just are. Like, there's always going to be someone out there. Like, even on my days where I'm feeling like the most, like, just kind of like, I'm like, I don't feel myself as much today.
You're like, meh.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm just hanging out today, just in my sweats or whatever. Someone's like, you just have this like cool girl next door, just like relaxed, like you don't give a shit about anything vibe. And I love that. And I'm like, you're sweet.
Me.
You're just so real, so down to earth. And I'm like, thank you. I mean, I am a real person. Like, my porn persona isn't too far off from who I am as a person. I kind of like, I'll have real conversations with people on my OnlyFans. It isn't just like, oh, let me see your like huge fucking cock. Like, people can pay more for that. Sure, I'll tell you that. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if that's what you want. Sure, baby. Why not? But it's more about like what I'm feeling in the moment. And I've always been someone who's really big on energy flow and connection and all that, which is, I think, why I love BDSM so much. And people pick up on that because that's what they really want at the end of the day, is that connection. At least the people who follow me, they want to feel like, hey, we're having like a real talk about this,
I think on another level, society, COVID's just made it worse, but we're all looking for friends, because when we're in when we're in school, grammar school, it's make friends.
Yeah.
And high school, the clique started forming. And once you kind of get into the 20s and 30s, it's, for most people, hard to make friends.
Yeah.
That you don't already have. And a lot of friends, come and go.
Yeah.
So we're missing at an emotional level that connection with another person. And it's not that, they may still have a significant other. And it's not taking away anything from that. But if you go back in time, I know my father, went bowling with a whole group of friends, and it was a neighborhood thing, but there was always very social. There was a lot of people. And now even in my community, you go out and I'm like, I see the lights on. I know everyone's in their house, but the streets are completely empty. People really aren't out as much. People aren't socializing. And I think just missing that socialization, getting on and watching someone, not just in a porn that's still that we don't interact with, but someone we can interact with provides a little bit of that social need.
Right. And I think that's
need.
why a lot of like the Periscopes, the Instagram Lives, the Facebook Lives are doing so well is
No,
because...
not Periscope.
Yeah, well, it's dying as of March. They're disconnecting Periscope.
They're finally taking it out to pasture.
It is going out to pasture.
Well, like Twitch even, for that matter.
Oh, yeah. Twitch is huge, especially with the gamers. I can never understand that, watching someone else game. Don't get it. Yeah. But it's such a huge market.
I'm so into it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a porn site, just kind of going on a tangent here, but there's a porn site that someone was trying to start up a few years ago where it was like Twitch meets naked people, and so people could be doing their like Twitch stream while like diddling themselves. And I really wanted to play the Friday the 13th game while riding a Sibian, because I totally give into jump scares, and I think that would be hilarious for people, and I would have a good time doing it.
True.
Sorry for the tangent. But
No. I'm just picturing sexand.com.
Yeah.
It's the Twitch, like you said, of people doing sex or sexual stuff and something else.
Yeah.
Like, man, I just think it would be really interesting to put on like one of those the clit, the ones that sit on a woman's clit, turn it up on like high speed, and then be like, okay, do something. So play a video game, cook a meal, and just see how difficult that would be. And we can do it to guys too.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm writing this down. I'm going to be doing a section on my OnlyFans about this.
Oh,
that's a great idea. That'd be so cool. But I can give people control of my vibe, because I have all the app controlled stuff.
The app controlled. Yeah, there you go.
Just be like, I'm going to be cooking dinner. Like, pay to control my vibe tonight. What's up? Yeah. I'll go on live on here tonight. Like, while I'm baking cookies or.
Right, but
I keep talking about being in the kitchen, but I could be.
Right, but that you have to give it to one person, that control, right?
Yeah.
Because again, multiple people.
That's a special person.
But the person,
the highest bidder gets to control my toy.
Yeah. Super fun.
Oh my God, I just came up with, like, we could make an entire series on this. Like, oh, come on. What's it? Okay, there's reality TV shows. What was the one on Sci-Fi where he would scare people? Tracy something from Saturday Night Live. They would like put up scenarios and they would scare the hell out of people. It was on Sci-Fi.
I'm thinking Scared Straight, but I know that's not it.
No,
it's
not
Scared
Straight. It's not. Oh, what is?
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine having something like that, but involving sex toys. Like, we're going to send you on a job interview with the sex toy, and like filming it from a distance and playing with it to try to make them screw up during the job interview. Or, oh God, I have a sick mind. Send them to help out as a pallbearer in a funeral while you're doing something like that. That could be funny.
I can't help but think of like the Impractical Joker dudes, like just someone putting on the vibe, being like, Larry.
Oh well.
Lord, that is so hysterical there now. I'm trying to find the name of that show so that way we all know it.
Well, it's the guy. I know his first name's Tracy, and he's super loud. He's off Saturday Night Live. He has a show on FX now, and I know it's not Tracy Lords.
He had that horrible bus accident too.
Yes, and since he came back, he's been
he's a little bit not as energetic. That's the best way to say it.
Loud. He's known for being he yells louder than Kevin Hart on everything he says.
Oh, don't mention Kevin Hart. Rest in peace.
Don't say Kevin Hart's dead. Don't kill Kevin Hart.
No, I was sorry. I was getting him confused with the other Kevin that died.
We're doing name leaping tonight.
Yes, we are. We're so all over.
From Tracy to Kevin.
Oh, I know. It's like I can't find out. It's like, how many people have been on friggin' SNL?
Angelique Pressure.
I'm still trying to figure out because I can't even spell the right name on it.
Well, while you're going through that, Meg, where can people find you?
So a few places people can find me. If they're just looking for just my, I would say, standard, just sexy self on Instagram, you can find me at the Dildo Queen. If you're
Is that
looking,
Dilly?
Yeah, Dilly. So like dill pickle Y queen. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then on TikTok, I'm also the Dilly Queen. If you're looking for my paddles, you can find those at Queen of Hurts Co. So QueenofHurtsco. And that's on TikTok, Instagram, and Etsy. So a little bit of everywhere. I also do, I do like more, I would say, vanilla-ish toy reviews on Pornhub. And I'm also on OnlyFans. I really need to just get a Linktree link and just be like, that's that.
There you go.
Why don't you have your own like website so that way they could click on all the various different things and even leave you like some tips or,
just a one page link of trips.
I'm working on it. I just don't have the whole website set up yet, but I have bought my domain. So eventually the dildoqueen.net. But yeah, there's got to be a smoother way for me to say all that.
Yeah, just like a one-stop shop so people could find you. Because with all these different social medias, I know it gets challenging, but this is what we have to do. Guerrilla marketing, guerrilla promotions. So
It was so much easier when I could just be like, I'm the Dildo Queen on everything, or Queen of Hurts Co. on everything. But, now I have to be a little bit more...
We have to learn to be flexible in many aspects of our job.
And very creative too. I think that, if you're hiring anyone who's worked in the adult industry, we have to get really creative.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan, there you go.
That was the guy's name. But
that took you a while.
it did. We got it though.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, you could also find us at Sex Positive Me everywhere, except for Instagram.
Except for Instagram. I'm still trying to see TikTok kind of changed ours, but then I change it back, so I'm going to see if they're censoring it. If that happens, then it's just going to have to be Miss Angelique Luna then, our TikTok at the moment. But everything, sexpositiveme.com.
Everything's listed there.
Podcasts, everywhere platform, still Sex Positive Me, so they haven't changed that.
And we will talk with everyone later.
Yes. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, John, I want to get a new toy.
Okay, so let's go to Fair Villa.
But I don't want to waste time trying to find out what goes with what.
Well, there's Fairville University, and their staff is very well educated and helpful.
Okay, but how about if I just want to go to a party instead?
Then go to their website, because on their calendar they list all their events.
But I don't want to spend a lot of money.
Have you heard of their loyalty program?
Oh yeah, that thing on my keychain that makes everyone blush every time they see it.
That's the one.
Let's go.
Well, they have over 5 locations in Central Florida. Which one do you want to go to?
Fair Villa. For pleasure, fun, and fantasy. Thank you for listening to Sex Positive Me. If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and review us. You can find us on social media platforms at Sex Positive Me or on our website at sexpositiveme.com. You can also reach me on all social media platforms as Miss Angelique Luna.
And you can find me at John C. Luna. And if you liked content like this and want some more, please subscribe to our monthly newsletter. And thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.